Welcome, everybody, to this special live stream. I'm Jonathan Milligan, and author of the book, Your Message Matters, and founder of Market Your Message Academy. So excited that you are joining us tonight. This is kind of a special live stream. We're actually broadcasting this in a couple different locations, depending where you're watching. You might be watching on Facebook and a couple places, over on LinkedIn. I think we also have this on YouTube Live for our subscribers there. So wherever you're watching from, go ahead and let us know your first name, where you're watching from, so we can say hello to you. We've got a very special live stream tonight. If you haven't been following along the last week or two, we've been talking about the fastest, easiest way to build an audience from scratch. If you're a speaker, coach, writer, teacher, meaning you do online courses, this is for you. Tonight is for you. We're actually going to be showcasing 3 people right here inside of our community who started a Facebook group this year. Like some of them literally 2 months ago, a few of them in January, but all of them pretty much started here in 2022, had no audience, had no reach, and they built these Facebook groups, ran challenges in these Facebook groups, and converted and earned money. It's going to be pretty exciting. We've got a lot in store. And what's so awesome about this tonight is this does not just work in the make money online niche. We're going to be talking to one person who gives private tours in Paris and how she's leveraging a Facebook group. We're going to be talking to one in particular who has suffered chronic pain and wanted to help others who also suffer chronic pain or challenges, and built a Facebook group. And we're going to be talking to a gentleman tonight who has been a successful 6-figure earner in remote IT jobs, working from home, and wanted to start teaching other people, formed a small Facebook group, and sold a workshop into how to get a remote IT job. So pretty awesome tonight. We've got people from all spectrums, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So again, if you're just now joining us, go ahead, put your first name, where you're watching from. See, Charles is here. Hey, Charles, hope you're doing well. Looking forward to hearing from your favorite people. Yeah. So it's going to be fun. I think we only end up getting 3 out of the 4, Charles, but it's going to be good. Anyway, we've got so much going on tonight. It's going to be fun. What I'm going to be doing is sprinkling in these interviews. So here's the thing. I recorded these interviews ahead of time just to make sure that we could have it all ready to go. And then I've queued it up for you so that you're going to watch these interviews. And here's what I would encourage you to do. Take some notes. If you're a speaker, coach, trainer, teacher, you want to make digital products, you want to sell coaching, membership sites, online courses, write books, this is for you tonight. So use this opportunity to take notes and learn from people who might be starting exactly where you are right now. Some of them 3 months ago were in the same place you were right now, but they leveraged what we teach inside of our academy and got their initial group, their initial audience from scratch. It's so exciting. We got Cynthia here from California watching over on YouTube. Welcome. Glad that you are here. And so guys, again, we're broadcasting this in 4 or 5 places online. So wherever you're watching from, let me know. And I'll be happy to say welcome to being here tonight. So here's what I want to do, because we've got a jam-packed hour. I'm also got my, I'll show you this. I got my iPad ready to go because I'm going to be doing a little bit of teaching and training tonight. I'm ready to scribble. I'm ready to do some teaching. So if you're ready to learn, this is going to be fun tonight. We're just going to jump in and get started. So the first person that I want to showcase tonight is Lisa Rankin. And Lisa is a Canadian who moved to Paris. She absolutely loves Paris. So she moved to Paris, and she has a business that has been mostly offline. So she does private tours for people who travel to Paris. And when COVID hit, she had a real struggle with, how do I pivot? How do I can't do the tours anymore. So she created a membership site. And then she said, I need to have some kind of community. I need to figure out how to take Paris to people. And so finally, we convinced her, start a Facebook group. And within the matter of no time at all, she has been able to get over 1,100 people inside of her Facebook group. It's a pretty awesome story. So without further ado, I'm going to jump in and show you that interview. Each interview is about 10 or 15 minutes long. And then we come back, we'll distill the lessons that we learned from that. All right. So here we go. Here is the interview with Lisa. All right. I am excited to have Lisa with us. Lisa, what time is it right there in Paris right now?
It's 8 p.m.
8
in
p.m. So
Paris
we're
right now.
recording this ahead of time. For me, it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 8 p.m. your
Hmm.
time. And I appreciate you giving us some time. I know we were just chatting before we started this interview that business is booming even more so since before COVID right now for you.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's really
Yes.
exciting. So take a moment and tell everybody a little bit about you and your business, your website, all that good stuff.
Okay. So I'm Canadian, born and raised in Toronto, and I've been living in Paris for the past 11 years. And I started a business doing tasting tours in Paris when I first moved here. And that was kind of my dream. So I'm living the dream. And I've been doing that ever since. And it's called Flavors of Paris. And we take people around the neighborhoods in Paris, and you get to discover Paris at a local level. So we visit little cafes, little food shops, markets, things like that, and we do tastings along the way. But I've also added some new products. So we have a perfume tour, and we have a tour that goes out to Monet's Home and Gardens, and so I'm adding new products on all the time. But we're primarily food.
That is awesome. And so if anybody watching right now, you've wanted to tour Paris, but maybe you don't want to do the big box tours, you want to find something more personal, personalized,
Mm-hmm.
kind of the hidden gems that the locals know is what you'd like to do,
Exactly.
then you want to
Exactly.
definitely check out what Lisa's
Mm-hmm.
got going on, flavorsofparis.com. Now, when COVID hit, it hit hard everywhere. But I know it hit hard for you
Mm-hmm.
as well because Paris had lockdowns for quite a bit of time. And during that time, of course, you were in the insider program during that time, and it was a time of pivoting, trying to figure things out.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
you had an existing business and then tried to figure out how are we going to survive to get to where we are now. And a few of the things that you were wrestling was like a membership side, and also how can I, if I can't have in person interaction and tours, how can I create some community online somehow in some way? And that's eventually
Mm-hmm.
what kind of led you to the idea of finally getting a Facebook group started. So, can you talk a little bit about that
Mm-hmm.
journey?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I started the Facebook group. It's been about, I don't know, 9 or 10 months ago now. And that was actually, I never thought about starting one. It was you who inspired me, Jonathan. And I did one of your workshops on Facebook groups, and I thought, okay, this might be good for me. So I decided to start that, and it's called Paris and France Revealed. Again, because it's all about discovering things that are beyond the tourists. They're not something that the typical tourist would be exploring. So I opened up that group, and I have 1,100 members now, which is great. And it's wonderful because it is a sense of community, and there's a lot of interaction and a lot of love going on in there. So it's been great, and it's kind of a an audience now that I have, like a warm audience. So if I have new products that I want to introduce or tell them about, I can tell them, I can introduce it to them. So that's been really good.
That is so awesome. And do you know about
Mm.
how long ago that was that you started your Facebook group? It's not been long.
Uh, no, I think it was early January actually,
Yeah.
like just the new year. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
So.
talking, 7, 8 months maybe right now, and you're
Mhm.
already over
Mhm.
1,100 members, and
Mhm.
even when we talked 2 months ago, you were at 900. So I mean, you've added another 200 in a matter of a month. It's so
Mhm.
awesome. In fact, let me see if I can attempt to pop over and share the screen. And this is Lisa's Facebook group. She got 1,100 members, and like she was saying, look at all this like activity, people posting pictures, and I remember you were telling a story about I can't remember exactly, so I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but somebody found out um, that you were the owner of the Facebook group or something like that. You were like interacting with them in the Facebook group, and then they found out you were the
Mhm.
owner. It was a story a couple months ago. You may not remember it, but you've been able. Let me kind of shift it to this. What are a few things that you've gotten out of having a Facebook group? Have people reached out to you? Have
Mhm.
you connected with people regarding anything that you have available to them?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I also have like the tours listed on my website. So
I got you.
I've had people actually book, like go to my website and book tours through there. And then also too, I had a client who was sharing some photos of her experience on the tour. Um, so it, it it's been great. And then I have a restaurant guide that I've got like 40 or 50 restaurants that have all been personally vetted by me and my team. So I have this recommendation guide, and I just put a little note up one day and said, "Oh, hey guys, we just updated it," and so we had a few sales for a few people. Like I haven't done any hard selling on on it on the Facebook group at all, but people pop over, and I sold a few of my restaurant guides that way. And one of the things I find that's really valuable with the group is I can see what people want to post, what resonates with them, what questions they're asking. So it kind of helps me keep my finger on the pulse of my audience, and
Absolutely.
it helps me to service them better, you know. And another thing that I'm just riffing
Yeah.
here, but another thing that's really great about, because I have had a company page for years, but um, the what's nice about the Facebook group is you get far more engagement um, on it. I can't believe the difference in the engagement. Um, and I was going to say something else as well, and I forget what it was, but it'll
I'm
come
sure
to
you'll
me.
come back to mind. But I
Yeah.
think I think you bring up a really good point, and this is important for all
Mm,
of us who have an online business.
mm,
We can sometimes get tunnel focused into emails and a Facebook page, and we're always having one-way conversations.
mm-hmm,
Because the truth is, we very rarely get people to actually reply to our emails, and they just see it as an email that got sent out to everybody. But a Facebook group brings you as the expert or the messenger closer to your audience to where you can see, oh, they're interested in this and they like that.
mm,
And they're giving me
mm,
feedback on this. Like I was just scrolling through
mm,
your Facebook group while you were talking. And I think it's so cool. You've gone live with your dog in a really cool spot in Paris. There's a video of
mm,
you near the pond at Monet's home
mm,
where it's beautiful and like you're showcasing that, and you got a bunch of comments under it because they're probably jealous because they're like, oh man, Lisa gets to hang out there today, and then we got to go to
mm,
Paris, and when we go to Paris, I'm reaching out to Lisa, and all
mm,
that's, you're not
mm,
selling,
mm,
you're sharing
mm,
Paris with people in your Facebook group,
mm,
and in a way you
mm,
are selling without selling. I think that's really cool.
mm, mm. And I'm not a techie person. I'm not techie savvy at all. But I just thought, okay, I'm just gonna, when I did the Facebook Live of the street, I just said, okay, we'll just flip it on. I'll just set it on the table here on the cafe table while I have my lunch, and people can watch the
That's
just get a
cool.
little view of Paris. That's all I did. That's all. I just set it down and just let it go. And you saw the comments I got. People loved
Yeah.
it.
It's like a live
So,
camera feed into what's actually
mm-hmm,
going on, live streaming.
mm-hmm,
That's really cool. And you pretty much do that with your
yeah,
phone.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
yeah,
That is so
yeah,
cool.
easy peasy.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm,
what would you say to
mm-hmm,
somebody right now who's maybe where you were, where you're like, I don't know, Facebook group. You may not have these questions, but a lot of people's questions are: is it going to be too much to
mm-hmm,
manage? Is it, I got to
mm-hmm.
put myself out there? Like, uh, what would you say to people who are there? And also, you've had the benefit too of having a community of people who've been able to help guide you along with the Facebook group when you've had
Yes.
questions. How has that been helpful for you to have
Mm-hmm,
a community and training that kind of helps you with that?
mm-hmm. Well, a couple things. I guess the first thing is when I did your workshop, as I said, that inspired me to. I thought, okay, maybe this will work for me. And then you have the library for the insiders. So I was able to
Yeah.
go back and I went through all the steps in the library, and it was easy to follow. I had it up ready in no time in the Facebook group. And I find it's actually, the group is lower maintenance than having a company page because you have your members contributing content,
Yes.
right? So so I'll go in sometimes and I'll see, oh, someone wants to post this. Oh, that's cute. Okay, yeah, let's put that up. So this is great. They're doing the work for you.
Yeah.
And they're asking questions as well, which is great because I always, on the group, on the company page, you're the one asking questions all the
Right.
time to try to get, and here they're asking the questions. So I find it works really well.
That is
Did
awesome.
that answer your questions?
Absolutely. And something we
Yeah.
didn't talk about, kind of last question would
Mm,
be
mm.
the ability to build your email list. I think you've been able to pick up email
Yes.
addresses when people join too.
Yes. Yeah. So I have, as I followed your advice, and I have three questions. So when people sign up, I ask them three questions, and one is, would you put your email address in? I can't
Mhm.
remember how I worded it a
Yeah.
little more eloquently than that, but I asked them for their email address. And so I've been building my email list through that as well. And it's accelerated the growth of my email list.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen,
Mm-hmm.
I thank you for stopping by and just giving us a little bit
Mm-hmm.
of insight into how Facebook groups have worked for you. It's super awesome to see what you've got going on, and I'm just can't wait to see where you're going to be in the next 3 to 6 months, 2 years. You might have a couple
Mm-hmm.
thousand, more than likely you will, in that group,
Mm-hmm.
which is so
Mm-hmm.
awesome. So we will share a
Mm-hmm.
link to your Facebook group, but where else can people
Great.
find you if they want to know more about what you do with Paris?
Oh, well, you can visit my website at flavorsofparis.com, and I have a blog on Paris. You can see my tours. I also have a membership group for people who love French culture. It's called La Joie de Vivre Club, and I'm also on Instagram, Flavors of Paris. So you can check me
Perfect.
out in those places. Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Okay.
listen, thanks for
Well,
taking part of your evening to hang out and let us know more about Facebook groups and how it's worked for you. So excited and
and,
can't wait to see
um,
what you do in the
mhm.
future.
And thanks for inviting me, Jonathan. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
You're
We'll
welcome.
see you
Thanks.
again soon.
All right. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope that was inspiring for you. I mean, here's somebody who had no Facebook group, started one, and they've got 1,100 members about Paris. Pretty cool, pretty awesome. If you're just now joining us, we're broadcasting tonight in about 4 different locations, depending on where you're watching us from. We're in LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, we're in a couple different groups in Facebook. So don't be shy. Go ahead and let us know that you're here. Put your first name, where you're watching from. And we've got 2 more stories to share with you. Again, I wanted to share with you people who just a few months ago were right where you are right now. You're a coach, a speaker, a writer, an inspiring online course creator, and you're just trying to figure out what's the fastest, easiest way to build an audience from scratch. I don't have money to invest in Facebook ads. I've got a website, but I don't know how to build the email list. Like, what is the fastest, easiest? And that is what we call our social pond strategy. So right now, we have just this week, we have our academy that is open. We only last time we actually opened this edition of it was back in January. And so all this week, we're enrolling people from for this academy, just like the people you've heard that have gone through the training and implemented what we teach. So I thought I'd take a minute and pull up the iPad and actually show you what is this strategy. So we call this the social pond strategy. And the idea behind it is that you have to go where the fish are, right? So we got to go where the fish are, and we got to go fish in Facebook's pond. Now, what we encourage people to do is not to just start any old Facebook group, but you actually want to set up a private Facebook group. So I'm just going to put Facebook group. And the reason we want a private Facebook group is because Facebook allows us to ask up to 3 questions when people join. And just like Lisa just shared with you, one of the secrets is to make one of those questions collect an email address. So you could say, hey, as a thank you for joining this group, we have a bonus PDF or a bonus training that we would like to send to you. What's your best email address? And what we find is we get anywhere from 50 to 75% of people put their email address in. And so you're able to collect email addresses with a private. Again, you can't do this with a public group, but you can do this with a private Facebook group. And one of our first goals inside of our academy is to help you get anywhere from 100 to 300 people in that initial kind of seed group so that you can run a challenge. Now, here's the cool thing. You want to stick around because the third interview I'm going to do tonight is Kevin, who he had 20 people, and he said, I'm not going to wait. I want to run a challenge and then offer a paid virtual workshop. And sure enough, he got sales for a 20-member Facebook group, which is pretty cool. So you don't have to have a lot of people. You just need to have targeted people. So this is kind of step 1 or goal 1 inside of our academy. And then that leads to goal number 2, which is to run a 3 or 5 day challenge. Now, this is where people sometimes get hung up because they're like, Jonathan, I can't write on the iPad and broadcast like you are with the cool software. I don't have the nice camera. Guess what? Our students are doing their live challenge with their phone. They're just using their phone and going live and running the challenge. If you know how to go live, and inside the academy, we show you how with your phone. If you've ever FaceTimed anyone, it's as simple as that into the group. And so that's number 2, is to run a free 3 or 5 day challenge to get people excited. And then the third part of the social pond strategy that we teach is to have a paid offer. Now, we're big fans of selling something before you create it. We call it the validate offer. Sell before you create. This is a big mistake that a lot of people make is, they're like, I want to do an online course, so I'm going to go spend months and months and months creating an online course. Or I want a membership site, so I'm going to do months of a membership site, putting all of my knowledge into it, only to open the doors and find out nobody really wants that. That's no fun. So we teach you how to sell something before you create it. And there's 4 in particular that we like to talk about inside of the academy. The first one is a 1-day workshop. I'm going to run out of room here because I zoomed in. But a 1-day workshop is where you just use Zoom. And think about this. Last time I did this, I put the 1-day workshop. It was just a 2-hour workshop on a Saturday. And I set it a real low price, like $45, and we ended up having 50 people at $45. Do you think that was worth my time for 2 hours? Absolutely. Right? So this workshop is something you do on Zoom, and you teach people. And we actually teach you how to actually run a 2-hour workshop where you're not talking the whole 2 hours, right? Another one is a 4-week boot camp. Now you can charge a little bit more for a boot camp, but this is where you're doing like group coaching. So think about like group coaching. You're taking under 20 people, maybe under 10, that spend a couple $100s with you, and you're walking them through the process. Number 3, a third one that we like to teach is for you writers out there, is to do use your Facebook group as a book launch team. So you get ambassadors who go put the word out. They give you reviews on Amazon. They get an advanced copy of the book. They go onto their social media feeds and share it with all their friends. That gives you more reach. And so you can use a private Facebook group as you write your book and as you're building up to your launch of your book. It's a great method. I used this method when I launched my last book, Your Message Matters. And we had over 100 people, actually, I think close to 200 people that volunteered to do the initial book launch team. And it was awesome. All right. And then finally, so we have 1-day workshop, 4-week boot camp. You got a book launch team. And then the last one is for you coaches out there, is to sell your coaching. So at the end of a 3 or 5-day challenge, you can say, I'm opening up a couple spots one-on-one for 5 people. Or you could say, hey, I'm going to start this 6 months of group coaching or 1 year of group coaching. So apply to join my group coaching program. The point is, check out this system. In this system, what's so exciting about this is that you can actually run this 4 to 6 times per year. At least once a quarter, you do the same thing. And guess what? Your members are continuing to grow. You're still getting more people. And so it's a very effective strategy. This is what we teach. And we want to make sure that you know all about it. So if you're like, Jonathan, this sounds like right up my alley. This is something that I know I could do. I need something low tech. I need something simple. I need an initial seed audience. Doing a Facebook group, collecting email addresses, running a challenge, and putting something out there for sale before I create it sounds like exactly what I need to get this thing off the ground. Then you'll want to go to marketyourmessageacademy.com. We have open enrollment until Friday night. All right. Are you ready for your second interview? I see more of you saying hello. Yes. Welcome, guys. Glad that you're here watching, hanging out with us. We got 2 more interviews. Each interview is about 10, 15 minutes long. The second interview is Leanne, and you're going to love Leanne. She's got such a bubbly personality. I love Leanne, and she wanted to run a Facebook group for people who are suffering from chronic pain. She's got a history of chronic pain in her own history and her own experience, and she wanted to teach people how to have positive affirmations and how to be productive despite some of the debilitating pain that you go through. And so I want to hop right into this. Now, this one we recorded over on Zoom, and I accidentally hit the stop record button when I was recording this and didn't mean to cut her off at the end. But it's a great interview. You're going to love it. So let's jump into that now. Hey, everybody. I am excited to have Leanne with us. We were just chatting about how crazy of a month it is with kids going back to school and all the stuff. And I know you're running another challenge in your Facebook group, and life can get busy at times, can it?
Right? Like so many hats to wear.
That's right. But what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about this idea of Facebook groups and helping to provide a community. Now, I'm a part of your Facebook group, and I was looking through it earlier today, and I know when I say, hey, you've got some amazing engagement, you're going to say, but I want more engagement. I feel like no one's engaging. That's how we feel. But I promise you, Leanne, I'm impressed. When I look through your posts and the different things that you do, there hardly ever goes a post that doesn't get comments. And I just think that's awesome. I'm sure we'll get into that, but I just want to thank you for being here. Everybody can check out what she's up to at leannestickle.com. And of course, we're going to talk about her Facebook group. But you're a coach, speaker. Talk to people a little bit about your message so they can be introduced to you.
Yeah, so thanks for having me. I'm thrilled. And yes, I have a lot to say, which you already know that. I help women dealing with chronic illness. I was diagnosed with MS 12 years ago, so I've been there, done that. I understand where they're coming from. And so my heart is to help them make progress, move forward, right? People that are dealt a hand that they didn't ask for. And how do we deal with that, right? How do we love life? How do we enjoy the other parts, the things that we still have a little say in, right? Because so much is out of our control. So that's really where my heart is. What's interesting is that I have learned that even if you don't have a chronic illness, you have other hard things, right? We all have hard things. And so I love to tell everyone, you need to join my Facebook group, No Chronic Illness Required. Because even though it is called Not Defined by Chronic Illness, and that is my message is to those people dealing with that truth and that reality, we all know somebody, we support somebody, we need to understand more, right? So really everyone is welcome and everyone is a work in progress. So I know we're not supposed to talk to everybody, but I just can't help it. I can't help it.
And that's going to happen. That's naturally going to happen. Just like I shared when I first started, it was a career coach for accounting professionals, but I would still get people reaching out to me that were engineers. They were in the IT tech space, and they were like, "Man, I really like your advice on resumes," and so I would still continue to help them. So yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I think there could be a lot of encouragement for people who say, "Wow, if people are battling chronic illness and they are still finding a way to stay positive or finding tools that can help them be productive, then that's a great community I just want to be a part of. Because maybe for some people it's not chronic illness, but like you said, it's something else, right? It's a bad mindset that they've been telling themselves. They've been beating themselves up in a way in their own thinking. So I think that's just awesome. So let's talk about your Facebook group. Let everybody know the name of it and a little bit about what you've done with it since it started.
Yes, let's talk about Facebook groups. And it is so funny that you're like, oh, Leanne, you have great engagement. And like, you literally knew the next thing I was going to say was like, well, like it could be a tiny bit better, but you're right. And I think that let's just go back a smidge. And let's talk about time investment into social media. We all know it's our way to reach people, okay? But how do we reach them? And are we actually reaching them, right? And so a lot of time and energy and effort goes into social media, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and is it effective? And I'll tell you, honestly, before I came to you or read Your Message Matters, I had spent the majority of my time on Instagram because I love Instagram. I enjoy it. So I would have a tendency to show up in that space. And you and I both know that it's less community-esque, meaning it's harder to create this sense of community, and we need to create community. And like Jonathan says, like, I feel like I should get points for quoting you. Success happens in community. And Facebook groups become a community. And I don't even call mine a group. I call mine a community because it's this space for us to have conversations with each other, to build relationships, to be a resource, to be able to search back into posts and be like, oh, what did they say about this medicine or this practice, or right, like what they're dealing with. So the Facebook group, we'll go with the traditional name, the Facebook group allows you to do that. And other social media platforms don't. And, I also think that this is a good time to mention that, like, I wasn't a giant fan of Facebook, right? Because it was like a political landmine, like selling Fisher Price toys that my kids have outgrown, plus this, that, and the other thing, right? Like, it just was this hot mess of all the pieces of your life that maybe some of them you want to not participate in or be aware of. And so I had really stepped away, and I feel like I came in as a skeptic and am proving that there is a lot of value there.
Yeah. You bring up a bunch of great points. So, first of all, the Instagram. Instagram's great. It's got its pluses, but here's the disadvantage that Instagram doesn't have that a Facebook group does have. In your case, if somebody in the group is like, guys, I've just had a horrible day today and I need some encouragement. They're not going to do that on Instagram, right? Because it's user generated content. In a Facebook group, it's not just you posting as the expert, but other people can post too. And that's the power of more community, is that people can reach out and get the support and help. Whereas on Instagram, it's like, it seems kind of weird to comment below somebody like your post, hey, I'm kind of having a bad day today. It's like, oh, are you making it about you? This isn't about you. This is about the post. It's just different. So I think that's a huge plus. And then the second thing I would say is I'm actually not a big user of Facebook. And when I say that, a lot of people are surprised by that, but I honestly very rarely go through my Facebook feed, my news feed. The only thing I tend to use Facebook for is I go straight to groups. I'm a part of some groups and I get value out of those groups I'm a part of. And then I run a couple of groups and I'm in there answering questions. Like, that's the part of Facebook that I like. I do not enjoy the negativity, or sometimes it takes you just like 30 seconds to scroll and you see somebody who's, their business is bigger, or they've just paid off their house, or life is great. And the truth is, behind the scenes, life is sucky and no one wants to talk about it on Facebook. And it's like, I don't need all that. Right. And so we're talking about here something entirely different, which is creating a community around Facebook groups. And I think what that's done is it's allowed that community to begin to happen with Facebook that couldn't happen on Instagram, although Instagram has its pluses. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, totally. And you're right. So for someone to ask a question of me on Instagram, they first have to find me, two, understand what I can answer, three, send me a DM, which I'm happy to respond to. And I was having some of those conversations, or I have to be with it enough to ask a question in my stories, right? That then they respond to with a question, and then I answer or maybe share that answer. But I mean, like everybody and wearing 800 hats, I'm not super consistent in that space. So you're right. I mean, in the Facebook group, they can post, they can connect with other people. They can say, oh my goodness, I made that choice too. And then what'd you do next? Right? Like there can be the follow-up questions. And it just is two separate things. And honestly, I do love Instagram still, and I still land over there because it's very natural, and I invite people into the community. And so even though my Facebook community is much smaller than my Instagram following, it's probably similar engagement, honestly. So if you look at my Instagram numbers, right? So say I have 2,700 followers, I don't even know, whatever, right? And I have 128 people in Facebook. Well, it's, probably the 100 people on Instagram are really engaged and connecting and finding value in the Facebook group also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. So a few things I was thinking about while you were talking is we're recording this a couple of days before it's going live for everybody to watch. And you're right in the middle of doing a challenge. So can you talk a little bit about your challenge in case somebody's listening right now and they're like, oh, I want to hop over and see what's going on?
Yeah, so my challenge is an affirmation challenge. And this started because really when we're dealing with hard things in life, we have to learn how to be a good boss of our mind, right? Because we know that our thoughts are a big deal. And change the way we see our hardships. It changes the way we see the good things. It changes everything. And so it really is leading into what I love to teach, but it's called the Chronically Happy Affirmation Challenge. And really, I'm teaching the value of affirmations, how to write your own, and what to do when you drop the ball. So it's really nice and tight, super short. Someone can come, learn, get a refresher, right? I did it at the beginning of the year, and now it's the beginning of the school year. So it just felt like a natural time to run it again, remind people. And like, we all need motivation and reminders. And right, like we all I mean, it's just natural. I mean, what did Zig Ziglar say? That motivation is like bathing. Like we have to expect that it's never checked off. We have to
Absolutely.
continually, get our daily dose of motivation or reminder or yeah. So I'm excited and I love the people that jump in and comment and learn. And what's interesting is that some people don't comment, but then later on have come back or sent an email and said, that made sense to me. And so what we believe of ourselves is the truth. And so everyone is already doing affirmations. And if you like poo-poo affirmations, I chuckle inside because you're already doing them. You believe something about yourself. I'm a
Absolutely.
slob. I'm awesome. I'm lazy. I love fitness. I hate working out. Whatever it is, negative or positive, you are affirming something to yourself. So why not be in control?
That's a great point. Like we're all having conversations with ourselves. There's nobody that's not.
Nope.
And so, and what I love about this affirmation challenge and how I can help people is I'll tell you about real quick about my past weekend. So my daughter's going back to college, finish up her senior year of college. And so in the midst of the craziness, she's about 8 hours. We got to take her about 8 hours away, right? In the midst of that, our garage door spring broke. We tried to open the garage door, it burned out the garage door motor, had to get the entire motor and chain replaced. I was trying to be a good husband and do dishes for my wife because she was driving my daughter up to school. And I actually, Leanne, I broke off the handle of the kitchen sink and water sprayed all over me. And I'm going like this, trying to turn it off. And then Charity gets back. So I had, called a plumber. They come replace the sink. Charity comes back. The day she's back, I open up the fridge door. Everything's melted. The compressor on the refrigerator broke. And I'm like, what in the world in the same weekend?
Redo.
And so I'm bringing this up for this reason. In that moment, I had an opportunity. I had a choice. Am I going to let this like ruin the rest of my week and rest of my month? Or am I going to say, you know what? It is what it is. What is the truth that I'm telling myself right now? Because in the midst of that, I'm trying to do my own challenge in the midst of all that. I got plumbers coming and going, garage repair people coming, then the refrigerator guy. I mean, they all got to know each other. I feel like Tom Hanks' old movie Money Pit when he bought the house and the staircase was falling apart. That's what's going on in the Milligan's house. And so everybody needs that encouragement to know how to do better affirmations in the words that you're speaking to yourself. And so I just want to encourage everybody who's watching this right now that we're going to drop a link right now to Leanne's Facebook group. Go join her Facebook group and be a part of this challenge. So
yeah, it's so true. And right, like in that moment, can you say like, I'm a problem solver and I can figure this out? And but sometimes we crumble. And the thing is that it's literally like exercise. We have to lift the weights. No one else can do it for us. And so if I can teach people the tools, if I can help you find the weights and know which, right, like how to use them, you will totally get better, stronger, and you'll find yourself talking in a good way to yourself. You'll be helping your kids speak to themselves. I have 4 teenagers and 3 of them are in high school. One's in college. And we say affirmations on the way to school. It sounds like a thing that you would do with little people, but they have to believe that they are coachable, that they are strong, that they are smart, that they work hard, that they are kind. How can you be those things if you don't believe you are, right? Okay, I'll stop.
No, that's good. I mean, it's exciting. You're passionate about it. And I think it's just going to be a great challenge. So that's so awesome. So besides the Facebook group, which we'll drop the link, where else can people find you?
Yeah, so on Instagram, I am Leanne Stickle, and I do have a website, leannestickle.com. So you can find all about all the things. And I'm literally the definition of an extrovert. So don't be a stranger. Ask me a question, reach out, send me a voice note.
All right. So sorry about that, cutting her off. That was my fault when we recorded it. But what did you guys think? Did you love Leanne's story? How awesome is that? She was, before Facebook groups, she was doing a lot on Instagram, and she was getting, like she said, a couple thousand followers, but she just couldn't figure out, like, what do I do next? Like, how do I increase the engagement? How do I, figure out how to earn money with this audience that I'm building? And then we said, do a Facebook group. She created a Facebook group. She ran a challenge. She got people to purchase her, I think she did a 4-week boot camp. And now she is in the middle of running her challenge the second time. That was a couple months ago. She's doing it again. Like I said before, this is a system. When you learn what we teach inside Market Your Message Academy, it's a system you can use 4 to 6 times a year to bring people along to purchase your products and your services, which is really awesome. We've got one more interview that I'm going to do in just a minute, and you're going to love this one. Would you believe that if you had just 20 members in a Facebook group, that you could sell 3 coaching spots into your one-day workshop? For most people, they'd be like, nope, that's not enough people. I need more than 20 people in my Facebook group. That's what we're going to be talking about in just a second. It's pretty awesome. You can earn money with a Facebook group of 20 people or less. Pretty cool. So you might be saying, Jonathan, what is Market Your Message Academy all about? And what do I get if I decide to join? Again, if you're watching this right now, we have this open. The Academy is open until this Friday at midnight. And then we're going to close it down, and we're going to be doing 6 weeks of live training and coaching with all of our students, teaching them what you've been hearing tonight from these stories. And so the Academy there's 6 weeks of live mentoring and coaching with me in a private Facebook group. You also get access to the entire online course learning portal. There is well over 40 step-by-step videos, and we do it 4 or 5 videos at a time through the 6 weeks. So we take our time and we help you to actually get results. We're there to hold your hand. You get a workbook, an action guide. You can go over to marketyourmessageacademy.com and read all this. I'm not going to take time to go through it. But out of the 6 weeks, week 1, we help you lay down your 60-day profit plan. So how are you going to earn money from this Facebook group? And then we're going to learn how to get it actually set up the right way, where you can collect email addresses, how do you invite people, that sort of thing. Then weeks 2 and 3 inside the Academy, we help you to build that beta community of 300 or more in less than 4 weeks. Again, you don't have to hit the 300. You could run a challenge a lot earlier if you want, but we give you all the tricks, tips, and tools that we have learned and even seen what our students have done to teach you how to invite people to join your Facebook group. And then finally, weeks 4, 5, and 6, we spend 3 weeks on how do you actually earn money? How do you run that challenge? How do you create an offer that you can sell before you create it? As we talked about earlier, we go through all of that and more. We're also, we're keeping this bonus live. We decided to open up some more spots, but the fast action bonus right now is the next 5 people will get a one-on-one strategy session with me, where I'll map out your plan for Facebook groups, help you name your challenge, help you come up with your idea for your paid offer. And so that, again, is only limited to 5. The early bird bonus, this is limited to just 10 people who join between now and when it closes. We are opening up this design and build your Facebook group for you. So this is where my team will get involved with you. You'll get access to my tech person. She also manages our graphic designers and other people on our team. We will design your Facebook group cover logo. You can read through it. I'm not going to go through all of it, but we help you literally build everything that you need to help that be successful. And also, we got these different bonuses. I'm not going to take time to go through them all, but if you want to know how do you fill up a Facebook group, you're going to get a bonus training on 21 ways to fill up your Facebook group. We have a Discover Your Message Masterclass if you're trying to really hone in what that niche is. We've got the Launch Your Platform Masterclass for helping you build your website and your platform. We also do teach, this is brand new this year, how you could use Instagram to do a live group launch. So how would you do a challenge on Instagram if you got followers there? We also have a $5 a day strategy if you want a low dollar strategy for building your Facebook group on autopilot. And then this is really cool. This is brand new this year. We have a Facebook social media Canva templates pack. So let me show you this. I think it's really cool. So you can use this for your paid offer, drag and drop your images right here that you could share on social media. We have Facebook group templates that you can use. You just change the colors, the names, drop in your images, your biopics, which is really cool. We've got social media Canva templates that you can use as well. I think, and all in all, we've got like 39 social media templates that you can use. So if you say, Jonathan, that sounds interesting, I want to investigate this more, then you want to go to marketyourmessageacademy.com. All right. I'm going to now play our final interview tonight. This one's amazing. This is an amazing story of someone who decided, I'm just going to do it. I am going to get out of my head. I'm going to stop overanalyzing. I'm just going to do this social pond strategy. Remember, it's 3 parts. Start a Facebook group and invite people, run a free challenge, and make a paid offer. The kind of offers we like are something that you sell before you actually create it. So with Kevin, he has a tech background, and he's made 6 figures or more with a remote job doing IT tech. And he wanted to teach other people that are either just getting started or they have a day job and they wish they could work remotely and do different tech jobs. He decided to do a paid workshop and charge $100. He got his initial group of just 20 people in there, ran a challenge, and got 3 people for him to do his workshop. $300 for a workshop. Hey, listen, that is awesome. Because guess what? The next time he does it, he may have 50 people in his Facebook group, and now he's making $600. And the next time he might have 150 people in his group, and he's doing the same workshop. Now he's earning $1,200 or $2,000 for running a 1-day workshop on Zoom. So without further ado, let's jump into this interview with Kevin. All right, I'm super excited to have a special interview with Kevin Horn, and this is going to be fun. I've known Kevin for a long time, and it's been exciting to see him walk through this process. And what I love about Kevin is that he just rolls up his sleeves and says, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to be afraid of failure. And the cool thing when you're not afraid of failure is you realize there is no failure. There's only learning.
Right.
And you learn what resonates. You learn how to do something better. And it's like we always talk about in Insiders. Kevin's in the Insider program, and he's doing awesome. And we always talk about you launch, then you get to learn. Like, it's not learning and waiting until you learn everything and then you launch and you do it flawlessly. You have to go through that process. And so that's what we're here today. So before we actually get into what you did with your Facebook group, let's start first of all, Kevin, by you introducing yourself and let people know your niche.
All right. Well, my name is Kevin Horn, and I've been in IT for over 20 years. So naturally, I wanted to help people transition into the IT industry or to help them take their career to the next level. So techcareerhub.com is my blog, and wanted to help people, hit 6 figures in IT if they could. And a lot of people want to work remotely. So before I could feel good about teaching them how to do it, I wanted to. So I recently took a remote job. So pretty excited about that and excited to share all I've learned.
That's awesome. And one of the things we talk about is to go to where the fish already are. And, it's great to have a website. You need a branding. You need to have a home base. You never want to rely on social media for all of your branding. However, we can set up like social embassies where the people are, and in this case, Facebook. So one of the things that you did not too long ago was to set up a Facebook group called Tech Career Tips to try to attract your initial seed audience for your niche. So first of all, let's talk about that and setting that up, and anything you want to talk about related to getting the Facebook group started.
The Facebook group really kind of gave me confidence and momentum to get going. I actually did the Facebook group before I did my blog and set all that up. So the Facebook group is easier, kind of like what you were talking about with the social pond strategy was to, the ease of it. And so I just hopped on Canva and created a graphic and started going through all those videos. And, the more I did, the more confident I became and really started seeing it come together. And it was really great to have your behind the scenes, do this, do this, do this, step by step. And especially with the questions, that, asking these questions before you admit them and that kind of thing, because it serves as a good filter. And so really, the behind the scenes that you gave and the step-by-step videos, I mean, it just started coming together once I started just taking action and doing what, the videos taught. So
That's
you laid
awesome.
out a well planned, road for us to follow.
Yeah, for sure. And what's really cool about what you've done is you didn't wait until you got 300, 400, 500 people to start serving these people. And
Hmm.
that's a common thing that we hear when people get started is we all start small. We all start with an initial seed group. I remember when I started my Facebook group, it was probably an initial 20, 30 people, and just started kind of serving that group. And it's grown over the years, but you don't, what I love about your story is you don't have to wait until you got 3 to 500 people to run a
Hmm.
challenge and be successful. Like, get your initial group in there of, and this is the key, and I think you would agree to this, targeted people, right?
Yeah.
So better than having 400 Facebook friends in a Facebook group, how about 20 that are actually interested in an IT remote job?
Right.
You've got a more targeted audience and you have a greater chance of success even with a smaller group. And that's why when you set up a private Facebook group like we teach and you ask them the questions, are you, I don't know what yours is, but something like, are you interested in tech careers? Yes or no,
Hmm.
when they
Yeah.
join, you've got a targeted group.
Right.
So can you talk about the power of kind of having a targeted group?
Yeah. I've, talked in general on my personal Facebook page, and, I'll get a few likes, but people aren't very interested. They're excited to see what Kevin's doing, that kind of thing. But the group, it's tech career tips. It's very niched, and you've already helped us brand it so that people know exactly what they're signing up for, and that pre-qualifies them. So that helps them understand what are they going to get, and they can just look at it, and the name of it tells them. So and you've got videos on how to brand that as well. So
Yeah.
that was really helpful.
So let's talk about your challenge. What was kind of the topic of the challenge, or what did you kind of propose for your I believe it was a 5-day challenge.
Hmm. It was get a tech job. Basically tech career challenge is what I call it, 5-day tech career challenge. And I just went live 5 days telling them the five basic things of my success path. And that's, discover the industry and understand the different jobs in IT. Step two is assess your skill set and experience to see what would be a good fit. Step three is training and certifications. Step four is networking on LinkedIn. And step five is your job search. So we work on your resume and teach you how to go out there on indeed.com and find jobs. So I just kind of talked about
Yeah.
that.
And what I love about this is like we sometimes overcomplicate it, right? It was real simple. Get a
Hmm.
get a tech career job. 5-day challenge. Here's the different parts of what you need to do. And you just laid it out step by step. Start with the industry all the way down to practical help related to LinkedIn, finding jobs, locating those jobs. So that's really awesome. We don't need to overcomplicate the challenge and have something slick or cool or whatever. So I think I absolutely love that. So tell people what the workshop was and the price point. So you decided on a 1-day workshop at the end
Hmm.
of the challenge to let people know about that you have a paid offer where they can go deeper than you could in just a 5-day challenge. And so what was that offer?
So the offer was a 1-day workshop called the Tech Job Accelerator. And the tagline is get a tech job in 90 days. So and we went through, basically spent a session on each one of those steps, and kind of included a bonus session about Indeed. And we actually did work during the workshop. We picked a job that they wanted to do. We looked at their assessment questions and let them kind of give answers, and looked at training and certification. And I challenged them, in the workshop, go ahead and try to get the certification within 30 days and show people you're serious about a tech career. So they love that. Then we worked on LinkedIn profiles and got those really looking great. And then we updated their resume, and I showed them how to gear their resume toward a tech job. And they were just blown away by that. And then started looking for jobs on Indeed.com, and there were like 64,000 plus jobs available, for entry level tech, and their mind was blown. So the price point was $100 because kind of an entry level thing. They're helping me figure out the things I've missed. And, that's why I had confidence, because I had people wanting to learn what I taught. And then I lowered the price point to make it fair to them, because they were helping me build the course, and build the material.
Yeah, and that's an excellent point. So you can, have a certain price point that you believe it's worth. And then in the beginning, you can say, hey, this is my first launch special. The very first time, this is normally, in the future, I might charge $300 for this, but you can get in for $100. And here's what's cool for everybody that's watching this right now. This was very grassroots, very much. He got 20 people in his Facebook group, decided not to wait, ran a challenge, and got people to buy the workshop for $100. And that's a win. And what's so cool about this, Kevin, is like, what's this going to be like when we get 300 people in your Facebook group, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you're converting people with only 20 people in your group, I can't wait till you have this thing built to 100 or 150 or 200, 300. It's like, this is a system now that you can reuse whenever you want. You can decide, I'm going to do it twice a year. I'm going to do it 4 times a year, but you can run the challenge, run it. And then you can also do a little bit what we taught in live, which is maybe eventually do an offer stack. So at the end of that one-day workshop, you could say, hey, for those interested, I'm going to do a 4-week boot camp to really help you through the process of applying, giving you feedback, helping you with the interview process or whatever you need over the 4 weeks. And so sky's the limit of what you can do with this. And it's just so exciting to see you do that. What's in the future for you? Do you have some ideas around what you'd like to do next?
Yeah, I'm going to follow the insider roadmap and work on a compact course, and basically take the workshop material, the feedback I got, and I'm actually going to go ahead and start kind of a membership group with these guys, because I want to help them get certified in 30 days. So
Awesome.
We're going to work on doing that. And then as they struggle, and basically, like you're saying, with the 4-week boot camp, I'm going to try to provide some career coaching to them and help them get certified. And that way they can put that on their resume and on their LinkedIn profile. And then basically take that learning, then the feedback, and create that online course. And then, from there, just continue to scale up. Want to do eventually a tech career academy, where it would be kind of a 6-week immersion experience, where I'm doing group coaching and teaching them the things they need to know, and just walking them through the process. And then, of course, offering the kind of an upsell. It'd be the academy plus coaching as an upsell.
Yeah.
And that way they can get more hands-on help from me. So, but yeah, I've got my offer, funnel pretty clear, and clarity in the offer funnel, what I need to offer in their steps. Cause it's, get an entry level tech job first, then join the membership to get your certs, and join a study group so that we can help you pass them. Then hit the academy and that's more for people who've been in IT 3 to 5 years or more.
Yeah.
Then after that, they join the academy and try to get a 6-figure tech job. And that's where we offer career coaching and such. So
Awesome.
Path is pretty clear. I just got to build what you've taught us, and, having because I'd struggled so many years with what's my niche, what do I teach people? What value can I offer? And I was trying to teach people what I was interested in and what I'd seen you do. And it's like, hey, I want to teach blogging and all that, but I didn't have the expertise. So I went to my expertise, and, it's pretty easy now to share what I know. So, and what I've accomplished. So,
Absolutely. That is so awesome. I'm so excited for you, Kevin. What would you say to somebody who is, they're watching right now and they're thinking, do I use Jonathan's training in that community to help me build this Facebook group and use this strategy? Maybe they're sitting right now with no audience. They have experience, they have knowledge, but they have no audience and they're wanting to try to get something up and running. What would you say to that person?
well, I think, and you kind of talk about trying to gauge interest about things and, just kind of testing the water to see what kind of engagement you get on questions and that kind of thing, kind of testing about the topics and that kind of thing. And then, so I think gauging interest to see how much engagement you get's important, because that kind of tells you, how serious people are. You also want to make sure that what you're teaching has kind of a marketable value. Are there books or courses or trainings happening already? And when you can find that kind of stuff, then you're able to say, okay, there's something in the market here. I know one of the things, rather than a 5-day challenge, I'm planning on iterating and maybe testing a 3-day challenge. So I would tell people, you don't have to try a 5-day. You can just do a 3-day challenge and start small. And, just thinking about the topic is good enough. The fact that you're on Facebook doing something and you're going live and, you're running the challenge on the topic they're interested in. You don't have to blow their mind with content. You can just share good tips. And that's enough. That's enough to garner interest, because, if they're really wanting to accomplish what you're teaching them, they're going to want to be in the conversation.
Yeah.
So, take advantage of the training Jonathan's giving you. He's laid out a plan, and it really helps you get clarity. And when you sell those workshop seats, that's nice.
Yeah.
Getting to make money off of what your idea is, it's very rewarding. And I'm very grateful to you, John, for all you've taught us. And it just really solidifies things. And I got to impress my wife, whenever I sold those workshops. So we paid some bills with that. And, that's what it's about, providing for family and, making the world a better place by serving others. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you did all the work. So congratulations to you. I'm excited for you. And so everyone who's watching right now, we're going to be dropping his Facebook group link in there. If you are a IT person or you want to learn about remote jobs in the IT tech career space, if you've got a son, daughter, cousin, brother that's also in that space, make sure you share that link with them, because Kevin's sharing some awesome stuff that people are getting lots of value in. So make sure you do that. And also, I believe it's techcareerhub.com is the website.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you guys go check out Kevin. Kevin, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Jonathan. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. So you guys have heard some inspiring stories. We heard from Lisa, who's in the niche of giving private tours in Paris, how she used a Facebook group to get over 1,100 people in her group pretty fast. And she's picked up touring clients. She has sold restaurant guides. She has added people to her membership from her Facebook group. You guys heard from Leanne Stickle, who has a Facebook group for those who suffer from chronic illness. And we dropped a link to her Facebook group in the chat as well. Hers is not defined by chronic illness. And then finally, you heard from Kevin, who is passionate about tech careers, started one, got 20 people in his tech career Facebook group, and then actually sold some seats for his one-day workshop. So there you go. Now, what's in common with tours in Paris, IT tech remote jobs, and coaching for people suffering from chronic illness? One thing, it's the Academy. So again, last time as we wrap things up, until this Friday at midnight, we are doing enrolling for our fall semester for marketyourmessageacademy.com. You can go check out all the details of everything we're going to cover. You get lifetime access to the training, but you will get 6 weeks of live coaching with me and some all kind of extra bonus goodies as well. We have a full pay. There's a pay plan. You can choose whatever one works for you. And we would love to have you. We've already listening and been reading some of the students that have come in. It's been pretty exciting. We have one lady who is a traditionally published author of 3 books on, she's got a psychology background and loves poker. And so she has books helping people for the, I would say, the mindset and mentality of poker. Probably also how to keep a poker face, probably somewhere in there. And I think that's pretty cool. She's got 1,100 people in a Facebook group, and she says, I don't know how to monetize it. This is the program that's going to help you learn how to do that. She's just going to crush it. It's going to be awesome. So whether you already have a Facebook group or you have no Facebook group, come join us, marketyourmessageacademy.com. And that's it for this evening. Thank you guys. Many of you were here for the whole time. Again, we broadcast this in about 4 different places, depending on if you're watching us on LinkedIn. I saw some comments coming in from YouTube or in a couple of different Facebook groups. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I hope this was an encouragement to you. And yeah, go to marketyourmessageacademy.com and come join us. We'd love for you to be a part of our community. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Bye-bye.